Queen Mary of Denmark, the woman who has long been hailed as the poised, steady, and unshakable heart of the Danish monarchy, has now found herself at the center of a storm that the palace can no longer keep quiet about. For months, whispers have echoed through royal halls and media corridors alike. Rumors of fractures, fears, and facades have haunted the image of a seemingly unbreakable royal family. But now, for the first time, the Danish royal house has stepped forward, not with a carefully crafted public appearance or a staged photograph, but with an official statement. And this time, it's serious. Issued in the early hours of the day, the tone of the statement was unlike anything the palace has released in recent years. It was not celebratory, it was not routine, it was deliberate, solemn, and filled with unmistakable urgency. It carried none of the glittering platitudes that usually accompany royal updates. Instead, it was a public acknowledgement that something within the core of the royal household has shifted. It was a declaration that Queen Mary's current state, be it emotional, physical, or symbolic, has reached a level where silence is no longer an option. And that is what makes this moment so chilling, so raw, and so deeply human. The world has long admired Queen Mary for her quiet strength, her elegant resolve, and her unshakable dignity. Born Mary Elizabeth Donaldson in Tasmania, Australia, she rose from a humble middle-class upbringing to become one of Europe's most beloved royal consorts. For over 2 decades, she has played her role to perfection, standing firmly beside her husband King Frederick X, raising 4 children in the global spotlight, and becoming a style and diplomatic icon in her own right. But no matter how serene a royal image appears, cracks can form behind closed doors. And today, those cracks have been forced into the light. The statement, brief, but loaded with weight, acknowledged what insiders have feared for some time: Queen Mary is facing a deeply personal battle. Although the exact details remain closely guarded, palace officials confirmed that her well-being has prompted internal discussions and significant changes within the royal schedule. According to the release, the Queen will be stepping back from several of her upcoming public engagements. What's even more startling is the palace's direct appeal for understanding and privacy, a rare move for a royal institution that thrives on controlled exposure and regal performance. This isn't just about canceling events. This is about recalibrating the image of a monarchy that has prided itself on stability and strength. And at the center of that recalibration is a woman who, despite her royal status, now finds herself vulnerable before a global audience. Queen Mary, so often seen as invincible, has been thrust into a moment where her humanity eclipses her crown. What could have triggered such a profound response from the royal house? While officials have refused to elaborate, royal observers and seasoned correspondents suggest several possibilities. Some point to the pressures of an intensified royal role following the abdication of Queen Margrethe II, which has placed even more scrutiny and responsibility on Mary's shoulders. Others hint at mounting tensions behind palace walls, perhaps exacerbated by shifting dynamics within the family itself. And then there are those who whisper of health concerns, both mental and physical, which may have quietly escalated over time. What's undeniable is the shift in public sentiment. For years, Queen Mary has enjoyed almost unshakable popularity across Denmark and beyond. She has been portrayed as a modern monarch for a modern era, intelligent, empathetic, multicultural, and deeply dedicated. But with the sudden release of such a serious and somber statement, even her most devoted supporters are left in stunned silence, wondering what could possibly be unfolding behind the royal facade. The media, too, has taken a noticeable turn. Tabloids that once fawned over her fashion are now running stark headlines. Morning shows that once celebrated her diplomatic finesse are now asking difficult questions. And commentators who once praised the Danish monarchy as one of Europe's most stable institutions are now debating whether the palace has been concealing internal unrest for far too long. The narrative has changed, and with it, the perception of Mary herself. King Frederick, known for his deep bond with his wife, is also now facing intense scrutiny. The royal couple has long been perceived as one of the most loving and united in Europe, often showing affectionate gestures during public appearances. But in recent months, observers have noted an unusual emotional distance. Their once effortless displays of closeness have become strained, scripted even. And with this statement now confirming that something serious is unfolding, attention has turned sharply toward the king's role and response. Family dynamics are also under the microscope. Crown Prince Christian, the young heir, and his siblings, Princess Isabella, Prince Vincent, and Princess Josephine, are navigating adolescence under the harsh spotlight of royal duty. As their mother steps back, what toll will this moment take on their emotional and psychological well-being? For a royal family so often seen as untouchable, these are the moments where reality hits hardest. And then there's the matter of public trust. In a country where the monarchy is still supported by a majority, there is a growing demand for transparency. How long can the palace remain vague before the public starts to feel shut out? How much information is the Danish people entitled to when it comes to the personal well-being of their queen? The lines between privacy and public duty have never been more blurred. Internationally, royal houses across Europe are watching closely. Queen Mary's situation is a sobering reminder that even the most admired royal figures are not immune to struggle. Her silence in the face of such a powerful statement speaks volumes. And her decision to step away, temporary or not, marks a turning point in how modern monarchies navigate crisis, emotion, and vulnerability in a world that demands both tradition and transparency. As the royal calendar reshuffles and the halls of Amalienborg fall a little quieter, the question that now echoes throughout Denmark and beyond is simple yet profound: what happens next? Will Queen Mary re-emerge stronger, having confronted her private storm with grace and courage? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a longer, more complicated chapter in the history of the Danish monarchy? For now, what remains clear is this: the statement from the royal house was not just a message. It was a mirror, reflecting the fragility that exists even within palaces built of stone and legacy. It reminded us all that queens, too, can bleed. That crowns may glitter, but they are heavy. That behind the grandeur lies a human heart beating, aching, and enduring. The world will continue to watch. The cameras will linger, and the press will ask questions that the palace may not be ready to answer. But through it all, one truth remains: the Queen, in her silence, has spoken louder than ever before. Now the question for all of us is this: what does this moment truly mean for the future of the Danish royal family, and will Queen Mary's strength be enough to weather the storm that has finally reached her throne? Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video for more powerful and real-time royal updates like this one.